Welcome back to Dinar Current, breakdown of Iraq's evolving financial landscape in 2025, where the Central Bank of Iraq, the IMF, and oil exports are shaping the future of the Iraqi dinar. If you're a dinar investor, or even just dinar curious, this video is for you. In this deep dive, we'll break everything into 4 chapters. The role of the Central Bank of Iraq in 2025, the IMF's new relationship with Iraq, oil exports, Iraq's golden ticket, or risky gamble. What this all means for dinar investors like you, let's get started and uncover what the experts, data, and geopolitics are telling us about the Iraqi dinar in 2025. As of mid-2025, the CBI continues its cautious strategy of monetary tightening, currency stabilization, and gold reserve accumulation. The Central Bank of Iraq is arguably the most important player in the future of the Iraqi dinar. So, what has changed in 2025? Digital modernization. The CBI has accelerated efforts to digitize Iraq's banking infrastructure. Mobile banking adoption has tripled since 2023, and interbank systems are now more integrated, helping stabilize capital flows. Foreign reserves. This gives the CBI more flexibility to defend the dinar in the forex markets. Iraq's foreign reserves have surpassed $120 billion, thanks to strong oil revenue and tighter capital controls. Currency auctions and transparency. Currency auction reforms have reduced black market manipulation. The exchange process is more transparent now, with digital reporting and tighter compliance with international standards. This is due to coordinated fiscal policy, reduced government subsidies, and IMF-backed economic reforms. Inflation control. There is no rush to revalue the currency overnight, but the system is becoming more trustworthy for global investors. This agreement is designed to boost Iraq's non-oil sectors, combat corruption, and improve public finance. With the country stabilizing after decades of conflict and corruption, the IMF sees Iraq as a potential model for post-crisis recovery, but only if reforms continue. Iraq is expected to increase VAT implementation and broaden its income tax base. Inflation is hovering around 4.2%, a notable improvement from previous years. In short, the CBI is building the groundwork for a stronger dinar, but it is doing so slowly and methodically. The International Monetary Fund has taken a more involved approach with Iraq in 2025. This means more oversight, but also more investor confidence. Here's how the IMF is influencing Iraq's economy this year. New extended fund facility. Iraq is now exporting around 4.5 million barrels per day, with average Brent crude prices stabilizing around $82 at a $5 per barrel. The IMF's presence acts like a seal of approval, making Iraq safer for foreign capital. And yes, possibly more attractive for dinar investors. The IMF considers Iraq as debt sustainable but vulnerable to oil price shocks. In early 2025, Iraq signed a $5.8 billion loan package under the IMF's extended fund facility. Conditions attached? These funds come with strings attached. The IMF demands more tax reform, an increase in domestic revenue, and reduced dependence on oil. This makes its exports more resilient and less reliant on Iran or Turkey for routing. Technical assistance. The IMF is sending advisors to assist in budget planning, bank supervision, and anti-money laundering enforcement. Debt sustainability. That's why the IMF insists on diversification. Iraq's public debt to GDP ratio is now under 55%, down from 65% in 2023. All of this positions Iraq as a more normal country in the eyes of global lenders. Transparency International still ranks Iraq in the lower tier for public sector integrity. It's a key factor, but not the only one. But remember, the IMF is not in the business of supporting sudden currency. It's focused on gradual fiscal reform, not overnight. This gives the CBI enough reserves to maintain currency stability. Oil has always been the backbone of Iraq's economy, and in 2025, it's still king. So, what's going well? New oil contracts. Iraq has signed new deals with Chinese, Indian, and Russian companies to upgrade aging oil fields and expand capacity. This has increased both output and revenue. Infrastructure expansion. Iraq has invested over $8 billion in upgrading its pipelines, port terminals, and refinery capacity. Revenue growth. Oil revenue now accounts for over 90% of government income, helping finance infrastructure, salaries, and defense. But here's the danger: overdependence on oil. Iraq is still heavily reliant on oil. If oil prices crash again, the economy could spiral, and any plans for a dinar revaluation would stall. Watch the CBI-IMF negotiations. And oil prices. These 3 forces will guide the direction of the dinar: corruption and smuggling. Oil smuggling, ghost contracts, and under-the-table deals are still issues, although slowly improving. So, while oil is helping Iraq recover and stabilize, it's not enough on its own to guarantee a strong dinar. Don't rely on a single bet. The dinar might appreciate in the coming years, slowly. but no one can promise a specific rate or timeline. An Iraq's oil sector in 2025. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button and subscribe for more expert breakdowns on currency markets and global economics. Stay smart. And remember, long-term strategy beats short-term hype every time. Now let's answer the big question. What does all of this mean for you as a dinar investor? Here's a breakdown of the signals. Positive signs. The CBI's reforms and transparency efforts signal long-term stability. IMF backing increases international trust in Iraq's economy. Oil revenues are strong, and Iraq has built up massive foreign reserves. Inflation is under control, and the black market for dinar is shrinking. Caution flags. No official announcement of a currency revaluation in 2025. Iraq is still dependent on oil and vulnerable to external shocks. The IMF generally discourages sudden currency spikes, preferring slow appreciation. Currency auctions are still used to manage exchange rates, not liberalize forex markets. Strategic advice. If you're holding dinar, understand that this is not a get-rich-quick play. It's a long-term geopolitical investment that depends on many moving parts. Most importantly, diversify your investments. Thanks for watching our deep dive into the Iraqi dinar, the CBI, the IMF. Drop a comment below with your thoughts. Do you think a revaluation is coming soon? Are you holding dinar or planning to? Stay informed.